Tonight I am cooking chicken fillet with a mushroom sauce. A couple of things for you to prepare in advance is to have either masala, and if you can't get masala, Madeira or white wine or even vermouth, you're going to need that for your sauce. The other thing is to prepare in advance. You want to soak your mushrooms, your porcini mushrooms, in some boiling water. Also, this is kind of because I've made it and I realised what I did. As well as the broccoli, I've got some peas which I'm going to add to the broccoli. I'm going to put this little bit before the beginning of the film. I think it's recording. Oh God. Okay, tonight. Should I delete that? No, I'm not going to delete it. I just thought I would film what I'm cooking tonight. I have got some chicken breasts with the skin on. I have salted the chicken breasts for a couple of hours. I'm just going to dry off the skin with a bit of kitchen paper. I've got some thyme, if I was organised. So I've got some tiny bits of thyme, which I'm just going to chop very small. And I'm going to just sprinkle the thyme on the chicken breasts. I'm not going to add any more salt because they've been salted for a couple of hours. I've got some flour in a flour shaker. I'm just going to coat the skin with the flour. I've also got, because I took these chicken breasts off a whole chicken, I've got the chicken little fillets that are under the main fillets, but I don't want to waste them, so I'm going to cook them in the same pan. On the cooker, I've got my lovely iron frying pan, which I'm now going to heat up. If I can, so it's all new here. I don't know where anything is. I'm going to get that pan nice and warm. So to go with the chicken, so we're going to have tonight pan-fried chicken breast with a mushroom sauce, which I'll show you how to make. We're going to make the sauce in the pan after we've cooked the chicken. I bought some broccoli today and it had a huge stem. So I have actually cut the stem with a mandolin, so super thin. So in fact, most of the greens we're going to have, oh that's cat hair, that's the chicken, that's the broccoli stem. Sorry, it's been a while since I've done this. That's the broccoli stem. There's some nice green bits of broccoli. The stem is going to go in the water first, but we'll get to that when I get to that. Now, the carbs that we're going to have with it tonight was I had a couple of baked potatoes left from last night's dinner, and actually baked potatoes make amazing mashed potato. So this is the contents of a baked potato. I just scooped it out with a spoon and I have mashed it with butter. When it gets to dinner, I'll probably just microwave it, but it is a top tip if you have leftover baked potatoes or if you just want to make mashed potato. It is fantastically sweet if you bake them first and then use the baked potato for mash. This will be getting nice and hot. I'm just going to put a tiny smear of vegetable oil in the pan. You know when you can smell something getting hot? I know that's getting hot. So I've got my chicken fillets, which I've just sprinkled the flour on. I'm going to lower the heat. I don't want it too hot. I want this to cook so that it's going to colour and it's going to cook, but I don't want it to burn. So it's going skin side down first. And I am not going to rush it. I'm going to cook this on a medium-low heat, probably for about 10 minutes. These little fillety bits that I've left, I'll cook those towards the end because they're just not going to take very long. I don't know where my clicker is, so I'm just going to do this. So other things to think about, I've got some water on, ready to cook my greens, which will go in right at the end. The accompaniment for the chicken is going to be a mushroom sauce. So I've got some porcini mushrooms, which I have already soaked in boiling water, and I'm keeping that as a stock to make the sauce. I've also got some fresh mushrooms. Here we are. Get those in shot. Fresh mushrooms chopped up, which I will add to the pan. I'm also going to preheat the oven at about 160 degrees just to keep the chicken warm while I cook the sauce. I think that's everything. Just showing you the chicken cooking. You can see it's starting to go white around the edges. It's going to take a good 10 to 15 minutes. If I just check underneath, you can see the skin is browning beautifully, so I'm going to probably leave it on the skin side for 5 more minutes. I've got the heat fairly low. You can see the heat is fairly low, but you have to take into account what you're cooking in. I'm cooking in an iron pan, which is fantastic for retaining heat. You can just judge for yourself. So keep checking your skin. You don't want it burnt, but you want to cook it for as long as you can to make it nice and crispy. I just want you to see how lovely and crispy the chicken is. So the chicken is now, I've just flipped it over, you can see that beautiful crispy, and if you touch it, the skin is nice and crispy. So I'm now going to do it for probably 7 to 10 minutes on the other side, just to cook it through on a low heat. You don't want to give it a fierce heat. Oh, and when we come to make the mashed potato, so I have put the mashed potato that we'll eat tonight in a small bowl, which I'm going to microwave. I know none of this is particularly chefy, but the secret to a good mashed potato, apart from the fact that I have baked the potatoes, is just a shed load of butter. So a load of butter will go in that once it's hot. That is the secret to good mashed potato. It's probably equal parts potato to butter. And one more potato tip. I always season my potatoes not just with sea salt, but with white pepper. White pepper is a little bit spicier than black pepper, and it's one of those things, again, that gives your potatoes a lift. Sorry, I keep interrupting. The chicken has been cooking for about 15 minutes. I have just put the little fillets in. Little fillets going in, and I'm just going to cook them for 3 or 4 minutes on each side, and they'll be done. That's it for now. The chicken is cooked for about 7 minutes on its non-skin side, so I'm going to take it off the heat. I'm going to put it on a pre-warmed baking tray, and it can just finish off in the oven along with the extra little bits. I'm just going to leave that in the oven. I'm also, because I am a stickler for this, I'm going to put a couple of plates in the oven to warm through for a few minutes. This pan that I have cooked the chicken in now, it's got all this lovely chicken juice or schmaltz, chicken fat. I'm going to put it back on the heat. And the mushrooms are going in. Mushrooms can take a fierce heat, and they will absorb whatever flavour you put in the pan. I'm also going to put in the porcini mushrooms, which were soaked and have also made the stock. The mushrooms are now smelling really mushroomy, and I'm going to reduce, or I'm going to put in a splash to get extra mushroomy smell. I'm just adjusting that. I'm using masala, because masala is a perfect foil for mushrooms. If you haven't got masala, white wine or vermouth will work. I'm going to reduce that down to a syrup. It smells divine. So I'm cooking this down to a syrup. The next thing that I'll be adding in is the mushroom water, or mushroom stock, which was from the soaking porcinis. But I can't rush this. And the thing is, the mushrooms are taking up all of the taste of that beautiful masala. And I've done my research. So masala is slightly cheaper than Madeira. You could use Madeira. But actually, I do prefer masala. That's reduced nicely now. I'm going to pour in the mushroom stock. I have left in the bottom of the bowl the little bits that you get from the dried mushrooms. I just want you to see, so all of the liquids that I have put in with the mushrooms have now reduced by at least half. I'm now going to add a splash of cream. When I say a splash, and I know that you probably want measurements, I would say that was about, that was probably 70 ml of cream. So I'm just going to bubble that for a few minutes, and it will keep stirring it because it will thicken very quickly, and then you taste it, and if you want any more salt and pepper, you can add salt and pepper to it. My chicken is resting. I've taken it out of the oven. Any juices that are still in the tin, you can, whoops. Hang on. You can add, I was going to say you can add the juices to the sauce, but I just had a little mishap. I'll just take those bits of chicken out. But yes, add any juice. Any juice is special. Add it to the sauce and then fish out your chicken. I'm very close to the end now, so I'm going to cook the broccoli. I'm going to start with the broccoli stems. They're going to go in first. Oh, this is a very useful tool for the kitchen. It's a dough scraper, but I use it for scraping everything on my chopping board. So I'm going to put the broccoli stems in the water first. The water is salted. I'm going to give those 2 minutes. I'm going to turn my sauce down, which is bubbling away. So you can make your sauce as rich or as not rich as you like. I like mine really thick, and that is really thick. So I'm turning that down. The chicken is resting. The stems are in. I need to turn it on though. Oh no, wrong one. I'm still... That helps. So I'm going to do the stems for 2 minutes, and then I'm going to put in the lovely green tops, and then I'm going to finish with the peas for just the last minute. Oh, and I'm going to go and microwave the potato. I said that butter makes potato special, so I've put in at least 25 grams of butter into this very small amount of potato. I'm going to do a little grind of white pepper. I'm going to taste it and see if it needs salt. A little bit more salt. You have to be careful with the salt because obviously there's a lot of salt in the butter. Where's my salt? Here's my salt. A little bit of extra salt. I'm now going to add the peas to the broccoli. They'll take just 1 minute. Oh. Plating up! Chicken. Cut it into, I don't know, 3 or 4 big pieces. There we go, 4 big pieces. We want to take the mashed potato. Here we are. Let's make sure you can see. Mashed potato, which has just got loads of butter in it. It smells super sweet. go, a little bit of mash. Oops. Chicken on the top. Oh, do you want to just see? It is perfectly cooked. It's not too dry. I can see it's not too dry. Oh, now I need to dry my hands. I'll be back. I've got my veg, which is just the peas, the broccoli. Actually, do you know what I'm going to do? Because I haven't stuck up for butter. I have a little bit of butter left, so I am actually just going to toss some butter through that. And I am actually going to put some black pepper on that. And some sea salt. I am mindful that the sauce is going to be quite nice and salty, so it doesn't need a huge amount. So some vegetables, and then I'll show you the sauce. I absolutely love the broccoli stems, so I'm going to save the broccoli tops. And then lastly, that's the sauce that's made in the pan. You can see how thick and rich it is. And I'm just going to plonk some sauce over the chicken. That's it. Let me just, it's gorgeous.